Hi everyone, not long to go now until the Green Paper is published on welfare reform. The Minister says it's imminent. I can hardly wait. However, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of fear, to be honest. And I don't know if it's just the Tory press stirring it up, but I think the worst thing a government can do, the very worst thing they can do, is have bad comms. So I think you don't need less PR consultants, fewer. You don't need fewer, you need more. So, yeah, you need to get your comms in check because there's been a lot of speculation. The other thing I would just say is if you are going to be looking at PIP eligibility criteria, I know it's a bit late in the day, but it's a Green Paper, so it'll be all right. I would just say, can you stop asking people if they smell bad? It's kind of rude. PIP, what is it? I think it's really rare that you get someone like me who's both frontline and strategic. So I thought I would talk you through some of the practicalities and speculate on what changes might be made. I think speculation when it's the government and the wider discourse is bad, but I think it's important for my channel that I do it, just in case they do all this stuff. So what could they change in terms of the eligibility criteria? Well, one of the key components is the move around component. And that's to test how far you can move. I'm sorry about all the sort of flashiness behind me, but it's not my fault. It might be my lighting, but I've obviously gone for the rustic look at home. So it might be my lighting, but I hope it's not making the video inaccessible. But then if it is, it's not really my fault. Like, right to Zuckerberg. Anyway, PIP. Where was I? Points mean prizes. That's how PIP works. So if they're going to tighten the PIP eligibility criteria. Again, I'm not really speculating. I'm just sort of giving friendly advice. One of the components, the move around component, judges you on points by how far you can walk. Now, a few years ago, So we did the assessments together, got to the move around component, and I only had an hour because, high caseloads. We had to rush through the questions. And I said, well, how far can you walk without your stick? For context, he used a stick, a walking aid. How far can you walk without your stick? And he said, you what? I repeated the question, thinking he didn't hear me. He did hear me. He said, well, I can't really, I need it. Like, what? Do you want me to show you? I was like, actually, that's a great suggestion, because then I can, rest easy that you've told me the truth. So I actually got a yardstick out to do the component in the flesh. And he said, so you want me to walk without my stick, and then we need to convert it from the imperial to the metric system? I said, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So he was being a bit sort of sarcastic at this stage, but I don't know if that was just sort of his sense of humour. He stood up without his stick, and then he took one step and he fell over. And yeah, that ended up in a bit of a health and safety nightmare for the organisation I was working with at the time. But on the bright side, I was able to put, can't walk, and he got the enhanced award. So he did end up in hospital, but he was really nice about it. And on the plus side, he got the PIP award, so I was able to report that to the commissioners. So PIP eligibility criteria, I guess I just was wanting to paint a picture of how at times it works really well, because you certainly get literal proof that someone is disabled. I would just note a caution, unsolicited, I know, again, but if Ian Duncan Smith is saying that the moves are a bit to the right and maybe you shouldn't be targeting disabled people and people with health conditions, then maybe don't put that at the top of your list. But let's see what's in the Green Paper. Bye.